Hey guys, welcome back to CMTEQ channel. So looking at this power system network, we can quickly identify a local network, a distributed generation powered by a wind turbine, and over here we can identify an external grid. Now when getting started with load flow analysis with DIgSILENT or any other power system software, you might be finding yourself in situation where your load flow does not converge. Okay, you're not getting convergence, or maybe you getting some very strange voltages at your buses. Okay, or maybe you do not understand the difference between a PV bus, a PQ bus, or maybe a slack bus. Okay, so this is why in this short tutorial I'm going to try to attempt to explain that in simple terms. So without any further ado, let's get started. To do that, let's just go ahead and stop the simulation for now. Now let's assume that you've already correctly configured your local network and you've connected it to a distributed generator powered by a wind turbine, and now you are ready to connect it to your utility, to your power system grid. Okay, now the first thing you need to do is to come over here and locate your external grid element, which is over here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and I need to find the bus in which I want to connect my external grid. So it's just to click 1 and 2. Okay, but now as you can see, I already have it here, so I'm just going to hit the escape key just to exit this mode. There we go. Now that you've got your external grid configured, connected to bus bar 4, to model it, you just simply need to double click on it. Okay, and as soon as it opens up, you're going to notice a couple of tabs here on the left pane. Now all these tabs, they basically represent a different type of power system analysis that you can run using DIgSILENT PowerFactory. Most of these analyses I've already covered them. I've got tutorial on my channel. Over here we can see reliability, harmonics and power quality, RMS simulation, very important for dynamic analysis, and you've got your short circuit and load flow. Now very important, the reason why all these tabs, right, if you open them, some of them you're gonna see exactly the same data. Okay, now this is just default settings, but for specific analysis that you're going to be running, you need to come on each one of these tabs and do modification according to the requirement of your system analysis. Now to make things simple for now, let's just go ahead and focus on the load flow tabs here. Okay, now if you stay tuned onto CMTEQ channel, in the coming days I'll be releasing a tutorial that will go into much more details about what an external grid element here represent. Okay, regarding your power system network. So stay on the lookout for that tutorial. Make sure you subscribe, okay, so that you don't miss that upcoming tutorial. And if you find this particular one useful, please also make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to CMTEQ channel. That will be highly appreciated. Now the first thing you're going to notice here, the bus type is already by default set to slack bus. Okay, so which basically mean this bus here is going to be your slack bus. Okay, and automatically this particular bus here at the point of common coupling, that will now become your PQ bus. Okay, your load bus, and over here this will become your PV bus, where you've got your distributed generator connected. Okay, now let's come back to this tab here. Now, the reason why it is set in default SL, because the external grid plays a very crucial role as a set point, a reference point for your power system network. But for now, let's leave that detail for the next tutorial. Okay, so if you come here on the bus type, there's a drop down here. You're going to notice you've got PQ, PV, and SL, and it's already set by default to SL. Basically, when running your load flow analysis, each bus can either represent one of these three guys here. Okay, so you cannot be in between. It's either your bus is a PQ, a PV, or a slack bus, and these they are not just labeled, okay? Because remember, when you're running a load flow, it needs to converge, which means you are running mathematical equations, okay? That means those variables, they represent real mathematical conditions that must be executed when your load flow is running. Great. Now let's break them down. So let's start. Which one do we start with here? Let's start from the top one, PQ. Okay. Now, as you can see, PQ, as I've said earlier, will represent your load bus. That's basically where your power, active power and reactive power are already defined. And automatically, as soon as I change that, you can see I've got now placeholders here where I can set my active power and reactive power. A very important point to note here, okay? You don't see a placeholder, okay, a text box to enter a parameter for the voltage and the angle. Why is that the case? Because those two parameters, they basically calculated. Because remember, your voltage will be influenced by the loading on your PQ bus, as well as your angle, whether you are busy pulling too much reactive or capacitive loads. That will influence your angle and your voltage as well. So those parameters, they must be calculated by the load flow. That's why they are not here. You cannot enter them, but you can define your power, your active power and your reactive power. So that basically what your PQ represents. So which means, in the perspective of the external grid here, if you set it to PQ and you define P and Q here, that basically means your local load here is now going to pushing power back to the external grid. So that means your supply, this wind turbine, must send power back to the external grid. So that's very important to note. Just one final point on that, your external grid will basically become a consuming network in this case, and what we often refer as a downstream utility drawing fixed power from your network. Okay, now let's move on to the PV bus. Okay, now it's get interesting. As soon as we change it to PV, we've got active power and we've got a voltage set point. Now, this is often what we see when we define our generator as a PV here, okay? And in that case, the generator will try to control for the voltage set point. Obviously, you must define how much power, active power, that generator can give. And the reactive power is also an unknown, because in this situation, the amount of reactive power that will be generated will depend on the requirement of your load, and obviously on the capability of your external grid or your generator. Okay, please watch my tutorial on reactive power capability curve. I explain in much more detail on those tutorials. In a sense, here active power is a fixed parameter. Okay, your voltage magnitude, you basically set the control point, okay, and your reactive power will be adjusted automatically depending on your system requirement. And finally, we move on to the last one, SL, the default setting, the slack bus. Very important one. Now, for now, leaving all the other details for the next tutorial, what I'm going to just say here is that you must remember that when you set the external grid to SL slack bus, okay, it basically means it's going to be balancing the entire system, okay, because it will have a fixed voltage magnitude, a fixed angle, okay, usually set to 0. If you want to change it, you can change it, but it will try to balance your entire network to that particular angle, which means it will be doing a lot of hard work for injecting reactive power, absorbing to ensure that the angle remain 0 or whatever value you set at. And as you can see, we do not have P and Q parameters here. Why? Because now this is a generating utility grid. So which means P and Q will be automatically adjusted based on your power system network requirement, basically based on your network demand. Now, just one final note before we close this tutorial. You can only have one slack bus per network, okay? You cannot define this external grid as a slack bus and then you come over here, you also change it to be a slack bus. That way you're going to run into convergence issue, or your result actually will not even make sense because you've got two different forces pulling from different directions, and that's not going to make sense mathematically, okay? In a nutshell, okay, in practical, when looking at it from the perspective of a power system engineer, okay, looking at the power system network, okay, not a simulation like in real world scenario, okay? So your external grid defined as a slack bus will basically be representing your main transmission grid, your utility grid, okay? And in there, in this entire network system, you're going to have multiple generators connected to it, okay? And all of these generators, they're going to be controlling for voltages, supporting for reactive power onto the local loads, like I've explained on my capability curve tutorials. And in there, you're also going to have multiple PQ buses, basically your loads, industrial loads, residential loads, and all type of loads. And if your simulation fail, you basically just need to start by checking these 4 points. The first one, check all your buses, which bus is which one, okay? That you don't have two slack buses, okay? And check the voltage set points, okay? The reactive power limits for your generators if you are not hitting the limits. And obviously your loads are not set to very high values that mathematically it will not compute, okay? For example, you define a line parameter that can only carry 1 kiloamps, but you set loads that will pull maybe 100 kiloamps. So that will not make sense mathematically, and you're going to have convergence issues. And just remember that most load flow issues that you're going to see on these windows here, they come from incorrect external grid configuration. So if you get your external grid right, you define all other parameters right, you will not be getting convergence issues. Your load flow converges and the data will actually make sense for your reports. And that's basically what the external grid represent in regard to power system simulation with DIgSILENT PowerFactory. So that will be it for this tutorial. Please make sure you tune in for the upcoming tutorial because we're going to go into much more detailed advanced analysis of what actually the external grid represent, and we're going to run some simulation to actually fact check our analysis. Until next time, cheers.